there, Year 5, it's Ryan here. Hope you're well, and I hope you're enjoying our new Mayan topic as well. It's been so amazing to see all the work you've been sending into our Year 5 email already, and I can't wait to see all the things you send in next. I also hope you're enjoying our new text for this term, which is Thing by David Williams, so make sure to read along with that as well. Okay, so before we get into the video, what I need you to do is grab some equipment so you're prepared for the lesson. You'll need some paper, pens and pencils, whether those being coloured ones as well. You will also need a ruler, and you might need an electronic device at some point as well, whether that being a phone, tablet or laptop. Okay, let's get into this week's spelling video. Okay, Year 5, your start task is a bit of a memory game. On the next slide, I'm going to put up 10 of our Year 5-6 spellings. You're going to have to look and memorise them. Do not pause the video. You have to then visualise the spellings that are on the screen. Once the screen's gone blank, then you need to pause the video and write down as many spellings as you can remember, making sure they're spelt correctly. I hope that makes sense. So, 10 spellings, look at them all, as many as you can. When the screen goes blank, pause the video there, write down as many as you can remember, and then the spellings are going to come back up, and I want to see if you can either get all 10 or whether you can check your spellings to see if they are correct as well. Okay, right, let's go. How did you get on? Well done, that's amazing. And don't worry if you've only got a few, that is completely fine. As long as they're spelt correctly, it's all okay. Okay, we're going to go on to this week's spelling focus. So this week, we are going to learn how to spell words with ant at the end. Okay, I wonder if you could pause the video here and think of some words that might end in A-N-T. Okay, pause the video here, write down a list, and I'll see you back in a second. Okay, now you should have a list of words that have the ending A-N-T. I wrote down 4. These aren't this week's spellings, but these are 4 that I also remember that ended A-N-T. So they were brilliant, elegant, pleasant, and vacant. Now, the thing about these A-N-T endings is that it doesn't sound like ant. It doesn't have a strong A sound. If I would say brilliant, it almost thinks or tricks me to think that it might end in an E-N-T. And that's because our vowel A isn't a hard A, like I said before in ant, like an A. It's an E. So it sounds like brilliant. Now, there isn't really a rule for this. You're just going to have to remember that these words end in A-N-T. So for all of this week's spellings, all of the spellings end in, that's right, A-N-T. Okay, let's go on to this week's spellings then. Okay, so here are this week's spellings. It's my turn now. I'm going to read out all 9 of them for you. So we have dominant, tolerant, extravagant, hesitant, important, relevant, reluctant, significant, and triumphant. Pause the video here and write them down for me. Okay, so now you should have all 9 of our spellings written down. I'm going to give you 3 different chili challenges to get on with to start with. Okay, so chili 1, I want you to identify the A-N-T endings. Now, this might seem quite a simple task. However, I just really want you to remember that these words end in A-N-T. Chili 2, I want you to find any new words you're unfamiliar with. And chili 3 is, I was so impressed with the paragraphs that you created and sent into our Year 5 email last week. So I'm going to set the same challenge this week. I want to see if you can write all 9 spellings into a paragraph. Or, if you want to challenge yourself even further, maybe create a mini story. Okay, get on with those challenges and I'll see you back in a second. Okay, so normally Year 5 I'd go on to spelling activities now, but I generally think that I know all the spellings off by heart already. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write each of the 9 spellings into a sentence, and what I'd like you to do is just peer assess the whole sentence just to make sure I've not spelled any of the other words incorrect, because I know for a fact these are going to be spelled correctly. So I'm going to pause the video here. I'm going to write my 9 sentences down, and then I'm going to come back and you're going to see the 9 sentences and I'm going to read them out to you. And yeah, you're just going to peer assess for me. And I know for a fact I'm going to get them all correct. I'm so confident without even practicing, because I know I don't need to. Okay, right, let's go. Okay, so I've written each of the spellings this week into a sentence, and I am pretty sure I've spelled them all correctly. I didn't need to practice, I knew them off by heart already. And so it's your first task. Now I want you to identify each of the spellings in the sentence, and now I want you to peer assess my work for me. So it's my turn now. I'm going to read out each of the sentences, and it's then going to be your turn to check my work for me. Okay, so the first one is, we must be tolerant of others. The second one, the winning team were triumphant. The third one, there was a significant increase in toilet roll sales this year. The fourth one, the palace had lots of extravagant decorations. The fifth one, I was hesitant to stand up and speak. The sixth one, the company were dominant in the market. The seventh one, they made a relevant point. The eighth one, he was reluctant to answer my question. And the final one, the ninth one, it is important to challenge ourselves in lessons. Okay, so after reading all those, I want you to peer assess my work for me and check through my spellings to make sure that they're all spelled correctly, because I'm sure that they are. And yes, so pause the video here and check through my work, and then I'm going to listen to your feedback if there is any at all, but I'm pretty sure there isn't. And yeah, so pause the video here, mark my work, and I'll see you back in a second. Oh dear, Year 5. I've heard your feedback from my spellings, and I know I haven't got them all correct. However, you know, we learn from our mistakes, and yes, okay, it's not brilliant. I should have practiced my spellings, but we learn from our mistakes. And so obviously next time I know I need to make sure that I do make sure I practice my spellings thoroughly. So now with my growth mindset, we're going to check through my work and see which ones I didn't spell correctly and why I didn't spell them correctly. Okay, so the first one, we must be tolerant of others. Now I know that one was spelled correctly with our proper ANT ending. Okay, brilliant. So that one's correct. The winning team were triumphant. Oh, well, the ending's correct. Oh, it's the F here. It should be PH. You know, when we have that PH, sometimes it sounds like a F here. So triumphant, PH for that F sound. So the third one was, there was a significant increase in toilet roll sales this year. Oh, Year 5, I've realised what I've done wrong now. I can see that it's not ending in the correct ending. I've put ENT instead of ANT. Oh, silly me. There we go, significant. I think it's because it sounds like it should end in ENT. But we did talk about this earlier, so I should have known, really. Oh, silly me. Anyway, the fourth one, the palace has lots of extravagant decorations. Oh, look, I've ended it correctly in my ANT, and it looks like everything else is spelled correctly. Okay, let's have a check. Extravagant. I've spelled that one correctly. Okay, brilliant. I'm feeling a little bit better now. So the fifth one, I was hesitant to stand up and speak. Well, I've got the ANT ending. I think I know what I've done wrong. It's not hesitant, it's hesitant. Look here. Oh dear. I put the ending correctly, but I didn't have the correct vowel. Now the sixth one is, the company were dominant in the market. Oh yeah, 5, I think I know what I've done. I can see that the ending isn't quite right, like I did for significant. I put ENT, and I've got ENT here again. It should be ANT. Oh, how silly of me. Okay, so the seventh one, they made a relevant point. Oh, I've done the exact same as I've done for dominant. I think because I was getting into the whole routine of it, I probably just got too used to writing ENT. It should be ANT. Oh, that's annoying. Okay, anyway, the eighth one, he was reluctant to answer my question. I'm pretty sure that's spelled correctly. I've figured out that it should be ANT, so I've got ANT there. Let's have a look at our spelling. Reluctant. I've done it right. Okay, brilliant. So, and then the last one, it is important to challenge ourselves in lessons. It is important to challenge ourselves in lessons, and I spelt that one correctly too. Okay, brilliant. You've helped me peer assess my work now, so thank you so much. And I think I only got 5 right out of 9. Now, yes, that's an okay score, but I know I could have definitely got 9 out of 9 if I practiced them now. So now I think it's time for us to figure out what we can do to practice them this week. Okay, let's go. I'm going to hold my hands up and say I was wrong. I did not know my spellings without practicing them, and this is why it's really important to learn from our mistakes and learn that actually we do need to practice our spellings. Okay, let's get into some learning activities. So the first activity is that the spellings are split. So the starting of the spelling and the end of the spellings are split and jumbled up. So you've got 2 columns with the start and end. You will need to use your ruler to join up from the start to the end, and then you need to write the whole spelling out once you've joined them together. Hope it makes sense. You'll see the columns, and then you just copy the columns down and then join the start and the end of the spellings together. Okay, right. You'll see the pictures in a second. Here are the 2 columns with our spelling words split and all jumbled up. So now you need to write each of the columns down and then join the start of the spelling to the end of the spelling, and then write the spelling out in full next to it. Okay, pause the video here. It's your turn now, and you can check back in a second. Now you can check to see whether you've correctly joined the start and end of the spellings together. So pause the video here and check. Okay, so your second activity is to go onto a website called Spelling Zone. Now the URL for that website is on the next slide. And on Spelling Zone there are games in which you can play that have this week's ANT spellings, as well as new words that have the ANT ending. So the games you can play are free. You don't have to sign up for them. And yeah, it's quite a fun activity to do. Okay, so the URL to type into your phone, laptop or tablet will be on the next slide. These are the 4 free games you can play on Spell Zone, which are Egg Hunt, Word Search, Bouncing Anagram and Against the Clock. Hope you enjoy. So your final activity is to create a board game. Now I have an example of a board game that you could use and copy if you'd like on the next slide, or you could create it yourself. It is completely up to you. So you'll need to make sure that you cut out little flashcards of your spellings that you can practice, making sure they're upside down. So when you move to a new spot, you practice the spelling. That's how I'd envision it anyway. So you can't move from that spot until you've got that spelling perfect. Okay, hope that makes sense. I can't wait to see all the board games you send in. And yeah, the example is on the next slide. Here's the example of the board game that I found online, and you can use this at home if you'd like. And I can't wait to see all the board games you send into our Year 5 email as well. Okay, so today you have learnt how to spell words that end in ANT. So now we're going on to our Spelling Show champions. So in each class it is in 5E it is Farley D, in 5T it is Harrison M, in 5P it is Kyra B, and in 5W it is Toby A. I want to say a massive congratulations to Kyra, who is at the top of Year 5, and not only that, she is second in the whole school. So well done, Kyra. Now on to the classes. So in 4th is 5T, in 3rd is 5E, in 2nd is 5W, and that means that 5P are in 1st again. Well done 5P, well done 5W for last week. I enjoyed the win last week. Okay, now I can't wait to see all the things you sent into our Year 5 email, and I hope you really enjoy our new Mayan topic. Don't forget to follow along with our new text, which is Fing. And yes, can't wait to see you guys soon. Stay safe, have a lovely day. Bye!